playoffs are right around the corner. The Frontenacs are looking to defend the fort. Frankly, we got an electric sort of atmosphere coming to Slush Puppy Place on Friday. What are you looking to see the Fronts do?
I'm just hoping that they can write the story of their own destiny. You know, like, they have the ability right now to make history, as well as, like, they're on this continuous winning streak at home, and now they have the ability to face Brantford and potentially take first in the conference and jump right ahead of both Barrie and Brantford. So it's going to be an electric house, and I can't wait to hear the fans in this building. It's going to be a wild ride.
Well, that's exactly it. You're in control of your own destiny, and when you have that sort of ability, you're not looking at the other games. You're coming into it saying, no, this is all on me, and I know how to set myself up for success, especially as you go towards playoffs. We were talking about it. It's not where you start in the season. It's not where you're at in the middle of the season. It's where you're at. If you're hot going into the playoffs, if you're able to go and secure that home field advantage, which we've seen the Fronts, they know how to show up here when they're at home. It's a matter of get them firing on every single cylinder. I think that's going to start. I think we can start talking about the net. We got Schenkel, who's been a huge part for them.
Absolutely, and the only concern, like, if I'm being honest, that I really have about Schenkel is going to be, can he show up on time and start this game properly? He has let in a couple of early floaters, especially early game, you know, within the first 2-3 minutes a couple of times. So it'll be interesting to see once the playoff starts, does he continue to allow those floaters to go in, or does he settle himself down early in the game, get settled in? Because once he does, we have seen him stonewall teams time and time again this season, and I have no doubt that he could do it rounds 1, 2, and 3 without any hesitation.
He's done it before. That's
Absolutely.
what we need to remember. He has come in and he has that veteran experience. We talked about it. Every single one of the interviews we've done this entire season, the team has a very veteran feel. How do you go and it's a matter of getting their perspective. What are they bringing to the team where you have so many mentors that are able to boost the team up? Mm-hmm. It's how do you convert that into the playoff? And it comes from having players that have that playoff experience, that know exactly what they're doing when they're faced with their back against the wall. Schenkel's proven that he's able to step up. But we also have drafted players. Battaglia has come in, and he's been an absolute force to be reckoned with.
You couldn't have said it better. He's been an absolute firecracker, both on the power play and on even strength. The way that those three guys up on the front line there have worked this season has been absolutely insane. We've been able to see them make passes that we blink and suddenly it's across the ice and they've got a breakaway or a 3-on-2, and we just go, this is what Kingston needed last season. They needed more of this offensive pressure. They weren't getting it. They were stuck way too many times in their defensive zone, and that's why they were sadly and unfortunately bounced in the first round by North Bay. So I truly think that now with the offensive core and the defensive core that we have with Emil Pien and Yemi like right in the back line, it is going to be an absolutely amazing opportunity to watch these guys play. And I can't wait to see what these guys can bring to the table.
I like that you brought that up. We've seen that the Fronts, especially when they're transitioning through the neutral zone, they know how to spring that trap. They know where their players are, and they've been able to gain that comfortable sort of nature. Even watching them practice here, on a lot of these, practice the power play, penalty kill, just knowing how to spring the trap, move your players. If you move cohesively and are able to cover, it's a matter of waiting for the other team to slip up. And even when they don't, knowing how to have your bases covered. It's a solid hockey game through and through. The problem is, and we've seen it time and time again with the Fronts, how do we produce that consistently? And how do you do that against the same team night after night? Because we don't know. We're going against the top place Brantford Bulldogs, and I think they're a team that requires a little bit of breaking down because they've been a dominant force.
When we face them here at home, we've given them a fight. We've really shown that we've gotten our opportunity to give them a real fight in the game. But then we go to Brantford and we can lose 7-2, and it's just like, where was that fight that we saw here at home? So it'll be very interesting to see if they can do, as you said, especially with the schedule that the playoffs have. It is way more rigorous than regular season at times, because we have seen, throughout the season, back-to-back-to-backs this season. So it'll be very interesting to see how these guys are able to adapt to that schedule, adapt to that, and as you said, make those possession plays. Stop those silly little giveaways that we've seen them do from time to time. I know that that's going to stop through. I know Troy Aikman will have words the minute he sees anything like that go off. So it's going to be really exciting to see everything go off.
You brought up my next point before I even could. Troy Mann has done a phenomenal job with coaching this team, getting them. I know when he first came in, it was a very rebuilt position. But being able to take a young team and turn it into a team that consists of stars that you're wondering where. I remember, I think one of the most notable games that I've been around for, it didn't result in a win, but it showed me that this team has what it takes to dig in, is a couple months ago when the London Knights were in town. We saw that and correct me if I'm wrong, with the amount of NHL drafted players we had in that game, it had such an atmosphere. You're like, wow, this is a game of tomorrow. And how does that go and contribute where they're gaining that experience and moving on from that loss? It's been irreputable.
Right, and I think we had that conversation literally here in the building during the game. I think we had a conversation during the intermissions where we sat there and asked each other, dude, we're literally looking at, like, you agree with me, right? We're looking at, like, the future of the NHL right before our very eyes. And it was such an, like, you could not disagree with, I think, with me when I say that was probably one of the most entertaining games we had seen all season from this team. There have obviously been barn burners, but that one was just so memorable. Did we come away with the loss? Yes, but to take London that far into a game, you couldn't have written it any better.
And big props to Coach Dale Hunter. He's reached the 1,000 win mark in an incredible, timely fashion. I have nothing but positives to say about that London Knights organization. It's an incredible one, and should things go according to plan for both these teams, I think we could be seeing a playoff series between them, which I don't know if we're prepared for that, man.
You know what, that'll be a question really that's answered here within the first couple of games in the first round. What kind of team, and I hate to say this, but it really is a make or break season for the Kingston Frontenacs. The amount of draft picks and players that we had to give away in order to build ourselves up and make ourselves as strong as we are, both in the front and in goal. It's for, I think, for a lot of fans that are going to be watching, it's going to be that season of, come on guys, just get over that hurdle, get into that second round and get over that hurdle. Allow us to see what a conference final looks like. Allow us that chance. And I truly think with everything that has been built by Corey Cooper and by Troy Mann this season, I truly believe that we have the building blocks to make something really special here.
Well, it's going to be an absolutely electric atmosphere. Slush Puppy Place Friday night at 7 p.m. The Fronts are going to defend the fort against the Brantford Bulldogs. This has been Break the Ice. I'm Zayden Vergara, Franklin Richards. Tune into your TV for your full coverage.